Let's talk about the Miller Act and the Little Miller Act. One thing you're going to hear a lot from your salesmen and from customers alike is that don't worry, it's a government job. You're going to be paid, it's going to be great. It's not going to be great. You need to worry about it and you need to be educated. So the Miller Act is a federal level. You can't lien government property. So the government put in some fail-safes to incentivize you to sell to the government or to do government work. It's tied up by a bond. The cool thing about the Miller Act is that it's at a federal level. You can go out onto their website, and all of the bonding companies are also known as sureties. So you're going to hear that term interchangeably. We have a surety or a bonding company or the bonds out there. It's all the same thing. Surety companies are just basically insurance. You are also going to have to follow the same rules that you follow for a mechanic's lien. You're going to have to serve a notice basically on the bond. So when someone says, hey, it's a government job, I need the first page of your contract. I don't need the whole contract, but you need to get the first page of their contract. It'll tell you the insurance, it'll tell you the bond number, it'll tell you the insurance company that they're working with. All that information will be on there. Then you're covered. Still tied to timelines, so don't be seduced by it's a government job. It's still going to be to timelines. You're still going to want to serve a statutory notice. The Little Miller Act gets complicated because the states really liked what the federal government did, but they wanted to put their own twist on it the same way they did with liens. So every state's Little Miller Act is different. Some of them range from, under this dollar amount, you don't have to have a bond, or it has a bond, or if it's under $100,000, we're going to get a $50,000 bond and it's first come, first served. And you still have to follow all of the same rules with serving a notice on it. The good thing is there should be some sort of bond there, but not always if it's under the Little Miller. So be careful, watch what you're looking for, and know the difference between a payment and performance bond that a GC is required to carry on a project and a surety or bond that's for the Miller Act or the Little Miller Act. So again, government work does not guarantee you payment. You've got to take those same steps. Let's talk to John about Miller Act and Little Miller Act. There's the surety or payment bonds that go with the Miller Act and Little Miller Act, but a lot of times credit managers get those muddled, or even contractors get them muddled between a payment and performance bond that's required by the GC for the project. How easy are those to crack and to get into and to get paid by?
Well, I mean, they're a unique contract, but they're a contract. They have terms and conditions. Sometimes state statutes supersede, or federal statutes supersede what those conditions are. But you need to read it like any other contract. It'll define what a claimant is. So you need to make sure you fit into how it defines a claimant under the bond. You need to also look at whether the party above you who has provided the bond has fulfilled their terms and conditions. If not, it's usually not a lot of hoops that you've got to jump through, but you've got to be a claimant. There's got to be some sort of default by the principal normally, and then you've got to sue timely. So know if you've got to send notices or suit, read that like you would any contract. And what I tell my clients all the time is get those bonds. Find out what they are. Find out what the prime contract says. Find out what the bonds say. Because if you get the bond 2 years after the work began and you're finally trying to figure out how do I get paid, it may be too late. You may have already missed your notice window. So read it like a contract, know where you fit in, and know what it requires for you to go after payment.
So what I'm hearing you say is make sure you're reading everything. Big thing is read every contract. Know exactly what your steps are. Make sure you know what you're agreeing to and get your information up front. It's easier to get that bonding information when you're all still friends, because when things start to, head down that slope and you aren't as friendly, nobody's talking to you, nobody's sharing.
Exactly. Do it before it all begins. Where's the money coming from? Owner, do you have the financing on this project? What do the bonds say? I just need to know what my obligations are and what my rights are. Get it on the front end. It's a very good point.
This is just a small taste of a much larger class. You can take the full class for free at levelset.com. Join me.